Good morning everybody, and once again welcome back to the video. In this video we are going to talk about RFC 18. So basically Hudi has recently released insert overwrite API. So let's understand the use case with a small example. So sharing my screen. Hopefully the font size is visible to everybody, right? If not, let me know, right? So I'll try to zoom in a little bit more and then we're going to read a little bit theory, okay? RFC 18, Hudi announces insert override API. This operation can be faster than upsert for batch ETL jobs that are recomputing the entire target partition at once, as opposed to incrementally updating the target table. This is because we were able to bypass indexing, pre-combing, and other repartitioning steps in the upsert write path completely. So in case if your job is if you're recomputing the entire partition and if you're trying to perform an upsert would be a slower process because that involves pre-combing, that involves basically index lookup. You can directly use an insert override in these scenarios. Let's read a little bit more. Advantages of insert override API: faster batch ETL jobs. If you are recomputing the entire target partition in the batch ETL jobs, the insert override API can be faster than upsert. This is because it allows you to bypass indexing, pre-combing, and other repartitioning steps that are required in the upsert write path. The second point is efficient data processing for tables or partition where the majority of the records change every cycle. Upsert or merge operation can be inefficient. The insert override API allows you to ignore all the existing data and commit only the new data provided, making the data processing more efficient. Operational task: the insert override API can be used in certain operation tasks such as fixing a specific corrupted partition. You can perform an insert override operation on that partition with the records from the source, which can be much faster than the restore and replay for some corrupted sources. So again, some of the examples where you could use insert override API, right? Again, Hudi has insert, batch insert, upsert, delete, and now again insert override as well, right? Again, a small scenario that I wanted to give you, and then I'll dive into a small example with code. Suppose you have a Hudi table that stores data for daily transaction. The table is partitioned by date, with each partition representing a single day worth of transaction. Due to a system error, the partition for a particular date, let's say March 17th, becomes corrupted, and some of the data in that partition is lost. To fix the corrupted partition, you need to restore the lost data from a backup source. However, replaying the entire backup data for the partition can take a long time and impact the performance of your system. In this scenario, you can use insert override API to fix the corrupted partition. You can extract the backup data from March 17th from your source, create a new Hudi file and just the data, and override the existing partition with the new file. So hopefully this should give you enough background on when to use insert override API. Let's take a look at a small example. I am defining my import. Here I'm defining my Spark session. After that, over here, I'm gonna be defining my Hudi settings. So here, first I'm gonna be performing an upsert operation, right? So here you can see I'm inserting record 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you observe I have a partition India and US. Let's say for some reason the partition India, the data inside that got corrupted, and I want to basically restore or update that entire partition, right? So again, upsert can take a little longer because it involves pre-combing and again, as I said, indexing, index lookup, right? So those scenarios we can leverage basically the use of insert override. So first I'm gonna just insert it into the Hudi data lake, and as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 records, right? Now, here you can see the only thing that I'm changing over here is method as insert override. And I'm doing the same thing. If you observe on the partition India, I'm gonna perform an insert override now, okay? So observe this, insert override. And this will be much more faster than the upsert. Again, if you want, you can use the time it module to time it, and you will see the difference for sure. So again, I'm now performing that insert overwrite. As you can see, that's the method over here, right? And once this is done, I'll basically read the data from my Hudi data lake and then show you, hopefully. Again, I'm running things locally on a Docker container, so things are a little bit slow, hopefully. So now you can see, right, these two records were updated in the partition India, right? So I used the method called insert overwrite and not the upsert. And that way, again, it is much more faster than upsert. Let me know your questions if you have any in the comment section below, and the entire exercise file could be found on my blog. So feel free to try this out. Feel free to read more about that. All the references, all the links are mentioned with use cases in the blog section. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.